Well, the genetically modified food conversation, debate, controversy just blew up social media last week. And yes, everybody has an opinion naturally, but what does science really say about this? There's a common sense bit, but what does science say? What does research have to say about this? And more importantly, what do the regulators say about this one? We're joined on the program by the Director General of the National Biosafety Management Agency, which is responsible for GMOs and other issues around biosafety. Dr. Agnes Sabra joins us from our Abuja studio. Dr. Sabra, good morning, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for having me.
I can imagine how much questions, inquiries you've gotten about GMOs in the past few days, maybe months as well. So maybe start by telling us Nigeria's position when it comes to GMOs. I know there's a spectrum in that sense, but what is our own position as a country? What is the position of the NBMA when it comes to GMOs, consumption, planting GMOs, and all of that in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. NBMA, National Biosafety Management Agency, came into being with an act in 2015. And that means that the government realizes the importance of having the modern biotechnology to be regulated. And our mandate is to regulate modern biotechnology, thereby ensuring the safety of the Nigerian populace, the animals, the plants, and the environment. And therefore, we know that this is of essence. Biotechnology came into Nigeria in about 2003 by the then President Olusegun Obasanjo. And there was a need. It came up that there is a need to actually regulate the practice of modern biotechnology to ensure that the human populace, the environment, the rich biodiversity of Nigeria is not affected in any way. And over the years, we have been able to make sure that any GMO that has been approved in Nigeria has undergone rigorous scientific analysis. And these analyses, these are all under international standards. We have the Cartagena Protocol under the Convention for Biodiversity, and also we have to use the Codex Alimentarius, WHO standards. Amidst all this, and the Academy of Science, all these are plans, all these are regulations, all these are standards that have to be met before a GMO can be approved. And in Nigeria, it is not just NBMA that is involved in making sure that the GMOs that are approved are safe for human consumption. This makes us to have various stakeholders where we have some strategies where we have what we call the National Biosafety Committee, and then we have the National Biosafety Technical Committee. You know, these are committees that are set up where we have stakeholders. We have NAFDAC, which is in our technical committee, to check on the toxicology aspects, on the allergenicity of whatever it is, the GMO that has to be approved. And also, we have the Seed Council. We also have the Agricultural Council of Nigeria. We also have the customs. We also have the quarantine service. We have so many of them. Time will not avail me to mention all of them. All of us come together to assess the safety of a GMO before it's been approved. And we have been able to have commercial release of the BT cotton, BT cowpea, and teller maize. So all these have gone through rigorous experiments, has gone through rigorous risk assessments before NBMA released them for commercial release.
You know, but the real concern about GMOs is the use by farmers of Roundup, you know, to kill weeds, but the crops are resistant to it. And then there is that scientific concern also that Roundup contains a certain chemical, glyphosate, I believe, that is carcinogenic. So this regulation that you talk about, has it certified that the GMOs brought in or grown in Nigeria are free of this particular chemical that is also set to alter biodiversity?
You made a statement by saying that it kills weeds. No. When you're talking about the GMOs, it's the insertion of a gene to present a particular trait that probably is absent. For instance, for drought resistance, for insect infestation, it is not the killing of the weeds. In the case of GM, let's talk about PBR cowpea, for instance. It gets devastated. Farmers have huge losses when this Maruca insect attacks the PBR, the cowpea. And this gene has been brought in to be able to make sure that this insect is not able to attack it and is able to grow during the drought. We know what happened quite recently about the climate change, and there was some drought. But those who planted the PBR cowpea did not experience this. And also, when you're talking about the weeds and things like that, it's usually in the case of GM, in the case of, let's say, the PBR, like I'm using as an example now, it does not make the farmer to spray insecticides. Probably the farmer might spray once or twice, but on the non-GM, the farmer might spray up to 7, 8, 10 times to be able to make sure that these infestations do not occur. And you ask us, is it better to have these insecticides, to have these pesticides being sprayed, and our cowpea is rejected all over the world? And you begin to ask yourself that, no, this has not been so. Like, we even had to go to Kano to make sure that, okay, after this PBR cowpea has been released, what is the post-release monitoring? We went for post-release monitoring. We found out that it didn't have any adverse effect. And also, you talked about the environment. It has been found that it does not affect the environment. And then we have what we call the non-target organisms. They are not affected. Research has gone through it. And there has even been Nigerians now who have been able to go and carry out research on the effect of GMO on the soil. And it has been found that it is not affecting the soil.
Mine is a very basic question, but I think it's deep for persons who have hesitancy. So I'll give context because of the perception and hesitancy. Selling fridge in Alaska, that is the context. Snow, you don't need any form of refrigeration. Nature has already done its work. So that will be another level of marketing to sell refrigerators to people who already live in snow areas. does Nigeria really need GMO? That's a question.
Okay, thank you very much. Nigeria actually needs GMO. Our food security. We cannot meet up our food requirements by the rural farming that we do. Even in advanced countries, GMO is being used. But I would like to say it's a matter of choice. Nobody forces anybody. There's a choice. But with our population, with what we see, we need to have GMOs. We need to have the GM seeds for planting by our farmers, and not planting of grains, but of seeds. And even in advanced countries, even just recently, in the UK, they approved the importation, approved some grains to be brought into the country. If even advanced countries are still using GMO, and they even have some level of mechanized farming, then we are just trying. Thank God our president just is bringing up so many tractors for our farmers to use. Yes, with that and with the GM planting, then our farming would go places and we can be food secure.
You know, there's still a lot of division around GMs, that's genetically modified seed crops and the rest of foods generally. Even in Europe, yes, the UK is moving forward, but there's a lot of debate around it. And two things usually stick out, which I want you to speak to. A lot of people have called it food colonization because of replanting. It's been said that once you get a GMO seed to plant, you cannot replant you know, from that harvest. You have to go back to get that seed to plant. That's on the one hand. So I want you to speak to that because that is a major concern. What we're used to is, you know, you're planting, for example, your maize, and when you harvest, you just keep one, you know, husk, just, you know, get the seeds off, dry it, and replant. You don't have to rely on anyone. So that's on the one hand. Secondly, when you say the GMOs that have been approved already means a lot have been approved. So how much of what we eat currently is genetically modified? So everybody knows where we're at, because there's that assumption that, oh, okay, we're not eating anything genetically modified. Some have talked of bananas and the rest. So how much of what we eat today, some people who are eating right now, how much of it is genetically modified?
Yeah, thank you for your questions. Yeah, the sovereignty of the seeds. I would like to say that one of our mission as a regulatory agency is that some of these our developers who have brought in the seeds, we have insisted that yes, you have to make sure that the seeds are produced here in Nigeria. And the Seed Council, which has that mandate, is working extensively. We are in talks, we are in collaborations, we're there to see that we make sure that it must not always be brought in. And there are a lot of seed companies emerging now. We have about 3 that are very major and have started producing seeds in Nigeria. However, the seeds are not enough yet. So there's great efforts to make sure that these seeds are produced here in Nigeria. And we talk about seeds, we talk about GM. When we talk about the hybrids, you don't even replant hybrids. We see people even also selling seeds, not only GM seeds, but other people are selling seeds. So it is not something that we can say we are sold out or we are under bondage. And also, we make sure that we're on the seed companies to make sure through the Agricultural Seed Council, which has the mandate on seeds. And then the other thing you talked about, can you remind me, you talked about
the question is how much of what we eat today,
or how much of what we eat
modified
today. Yes, how much of what we eat today. Well, that would bring me to the fact that there are some farmers who have purchased the PBR cowpea seeds, who have bought the teller maize seeds and have planted. And these are being monitored by another sister agency. What our duty is, first of all, making sure that the GM are safe for the human populace, the animals, the plants, and the environment. And we approve them, and it is sent out there for other agencies like the agricultural quarantine has to ensure that it is safe also. Then we have the varietal release committee that has to also work on it. So in that area, we have given the approval. We might not be able to say, okay, in figures, this is what. That is the duty of the Seed Council. And then when we're talking about what are the other people having to eat, part of our mandate is to go to the supermarkets to make sure that any genetically modified product that comes into the country is labeled. So those ones that come from outside are being labeled. And presently, NAFDAC and NBMA were working on the labeling of manufacturers who use grains for their production, that is for processing, for feed. We are on that, and very soon we will be able to give you some of those companies and make sure that they actually stated that, yes, this cereal, this is made from GM grains.
Well, this is a conversation that we need to keep going, but we have to draw the curtains at this point because of time. But we need an assurance that you'll be joining us when next we call upon you to address some other concerns by Nigerians, because more questions are coming up, DG. But we have to thank you so much for being forthcoming, because Nigerians need clarity at this time, and it's important that we give them that clarity. You wanted to say something?
Please, can I just have a closing?
Yes,
I just want to have
seconds.
a closing statement.
Yes, please.
In NBMA, we want to assure the Nigerian populace that we carry out our work with integrity and transparency. And you're free to come to our office if you have questions. Our websites, we have given so much information. We have the risk assessment that we have done on all these crops. They are available. And one thing also that we do, because we know the importance of the Nigerian populace, without all of us, then there will be no Nigeria. And that is why we make sure that we do everything in accordance to international standards, and we do not compromise, because we all go to the same market, we all eat the same food. So definitely we have to do it right. And the federal government of Nigeria has our interest at heart.
Dr.
Thank you very much.
Asagba, we have to thank you so much. She's the DG, National Biosafety Management Agency. Thank you for your time, and of course this is a conversation we'll be having in the coming days and weeks. But wish you the very best.
Thank you.